Hello, and welcome back to day 2. I hope you're able to find something of value from yesterday's lesson on your circle of control. In order for you to begin building the habit of letting go of worry and stress about the things which you have no control over, I would like for you to start implementing the practice of sorting your circle of control. If you're not watching these videos in order, you may be confused about what I'm talking about. It's not necessary to watch them in order, in the order that they were published, but I did curate them in a specific order so as to build upon our learnings each day and provide even more value. So if you would like to follow along in that manner, please make sure that you watch the Circle of Control video before coming back here. Now, today we're going to be talking about setting boundaries and asking for help. If you have ever spoken with a therapist, you've probably already covered this topic as it's very important. Today, we're going to focus on how to say no. Obviously, I know you know how to say the word no. We learned that word very early in life. I know it's one of my 2-year-old son's favorite words. As young children, we say no often and unapologetically. As we get older, we learn the adults around us are displeased when we say no. Then we get even older still, and maybe we find that we are losing friends because we tell them no. Eventually, we are grown adults in the workplace, overwhelmed in projects and activities for you and your family because you have developed the inability to say no. When we say yes to everyone else and focus on their needs above our own, what we're really doing is saying no to ourselves. This constant rejection we give to ourselves may even lead to low self-esteem and low self-worth. No matter what way you slice it, there's only 24 hours in a day. When you add things into your schedule, you have to accommodate by taking something else out. So what are you giving up in order to accommodate saying yes to everyone but yourself? Is it your sleep? Is it time with your kids or your significant other? Maybe it's your health or your weight or your dreams or your aspirations, little unimportant things like that. Just kidding. You are worthy of your own time, and your needs matter just as much as the needs of others. Because there is no way to create more time, we need to give it away with as much care as this precious commodity is. Now, I could go on and on with this topic. It truly is an important skill to learn, and I only have a limited time with you here. So you don't want to hear me ramble on and on, but if you want to dig deeper, I would recommend checking out the book, The Art of Saying No by Damon Zaharides. I listen to it on Audible because I have an hour-long commute each way and I don't have a whole lot of time for reading, but I do want to continue to learn and grow. So I listen to books on audiobook instead. Now, Zaharides dives into all the possible reasons you could be avoiding saying no, as well as gives you various ways to be able to be assertive and say no. Mainly, it's because we don't want to upset people. No can be a very loaded response to a request for help. The person receiving it may feel they're being personally rejected, and this causes them to become upset. Assertiveness and setting boundaries, however, is not aggressiveness. Maybe you're scared that saying no will result in the person asking you to become upset. As long as you're being courteous in your response, the way the other person reacts to your answer is not your responsibility. Remember, we only have control over our own actions and words. We do not have control over how someone will feel or react to our decisions. If you already had made a commitment to a friend to go out to lunch, but another friend asked you to help them paint a room, would you break your initial plans? I'm going to guess you probably wouldn't, because breaking plans for lunch with your friend most likely would hurt their feelings and may lead to some resentment in the friendship. But if you had planned on using that same afternoon for your own needs, would you break the commitment to yourself? It's probably far more likely that you would. Why is the commitment to your friend worth more than the commitment to yourself? It's not. Of course, you probably don't want to go around never saying yes. You would probably not have very many friends if you were to do that. What you do want to do, however, is list yourself among the people who deserve your time and attention and keep that in consideration when reviewing a request for your time, money, and energy. I'd like to do another exercise with you today. We're going to do a little bit of math together. If you could grab a paper and pen, you'll need to write this down. I promise it's not hard math. We're going to create a visual for how much time you have to give. So, as I mentioned earlier, there's only 24 hours in each day. If we multiply that out by 7 days in the week, this means you have 168 hours per week. Now, we will go ahead and list out everything that we do on a daily, weekly basis that takes up our time. There are, of course, non-negotiables that eat up your time. For example, work, your commute, and sleep, but there's also the amount of time it takes you and maybe your kids to get ready in the morning. Cooking, grocery shopping, laundry, working out, school pickup and drop off, weekly date night, house cleaning, they all count. So make sure that you list out everything, even down to, minute increments. So if it takes you 15 minutes to get your kids dressed in the morning, but this happens every single morning, you need to add it and put it on there. Go ahead, list out all of your activities you do through the week and how much time each of them takes. Once you have all of your activities written out with the time they require, and I mean every single detail, you will subtract all of these hours from your initial total available for the week of 168 hours. Once it's clearly written out, we're able to see just how much time we have left over for any pulls on your time that may pop up. When we know how much time we have available, we can better weigh the cost of every request on our time. Every time I do this exercise, it's always so mind-blowing to me. So I hope that you'll take the time, maybe pause this recording to do it so that you have it available as we move into the second part of this video. So now that we know how much time we have left, and we know that by saying yes to an outside request on our time means we're saying no to our own needs and requests on our time, I hope you're able to see that you actually aren't doing yourself any favors by saying yes to every request that comes your way. When you have your time calculated and written out on the page, maybe you're seeing there isn't much time left over for your own wants and desires. This is where asking for help comes in. For me, this is still something that I struggle with. I watched my mom juggle 3 kids and a home and a nursing career, and it deeply ingrained in me that I needed to take care of things on my own. Maybe you have your own deeply ingrained beliefs about asking for help too, but what else could you have time for in your own life if you asked for help? Not just talking about asking friends or family for favors. I'm also talking about hiring help. So if you work Monday through Friday and spend all day Saturday cleaning your house, that leaves you with only Sunday to run errands, spend time with family and friends, and spend time on your own passions and needs. So hire somebody to clean your house. This frees up an entire day's worth of time. If you have young kids and your goal is to start a podcast, but the kids keep interrupting you while you're trying to record, hire a babysitter for 1 to 2 hours while you get your work done. I know that paying for help may seem out of reach financially. Maybe you're saying to me right now, yeah, that sounds nice to be able to afford the help, but I don't have the money for that. Find another way. Are there skills you could trade with someone in order to afford the help? Maybe you're a stay-at-home mom and you find other stay-at-home moms that you could take turns watching the kids while you get the much-needed time to yourself. Use your talents and abilities to trade for the talents and abilities of others. Think outside the box. It starts with being honest about the amount of time you have to spend, then taking a look at all those items and seeing what you could delegate or contract out for help. Communication is key. Talk to your partner, talk to your kids, talk to your family and your circle of friends. Ask for help. No one is obligated to say yes to your request for help, just as you yourself are not obligated to help others. It is up to the person that you're asking for help to determine their ability to help you or not. Let me give you an example from my own life here. My therapist and I were talking about my relationship with my husband. She asked me how much time that we spent on our relationship. Did we go out on dates? How much time did we spend together without the kids? 2 small kids, 2 full-time jobs, commutes. The answer was pretty much none. We hadn't been on a date in months. She asked me to think about who I could ask for help, and my mother-in-law was top of mind. Who better to watch the kids for a few hours than grandma? But I didn't want to ask for help because I thought it would be too big of a burden on her. That's not for me to decide. It is on me to ask, and the responsibility of saying yes or no falls on my mother-in-law. If she weighs the options and decides no, I can ask someone else or perhaps find a better time that works for her. If she says yes, it's because she's a grown-ass woman and she makes her own choices. There is no need for me to feel guilty for asking because I can't force her to watch my kids. Now, I'm going to be giving you a little bit of homework today. Once you have your time calculations done and you can see how much time you have each week, I want you to think about how you want to fill that time. I know, right? When was the last time you thought about what you want? But I'm serious. Do you want to get a bi-weekly pedicure or a bi-monthly massage? Maybe you want to learn a new skill or take a college course. Sit down with your family, talk about your schedule, and plan it out. When in your busy schedule can you fit these things in? Let's say you want to start working out 30 minutes a day, 5 days a week. You already wake up at 5 a.m. for work, so you're probably not setting that alarm, getting up at 4 to put into work. Excuse me. After work, you pick up your little one, and it's evening and bedtime routines until they go to sleep at 8 p.m. Can you ask your significant other to watch the kiddo while you put in 30 minutes of sweat time for yourself? Could you set them up in a playpen with toys or in the high chair with their dinner, or maybe even a tablet for a quick 30 minutes of screen time? This will allow you to get in the movement that your body needs. If it's anything like my workouts I do with my kids, it's most likely going to take more than 30 minutes to complete if you're doing it along with them, but it still gets done. Your body and your mental health will thank you, and your kiddo is seeing a great example of how to take care of themselves too. These things aren't just going to magically happen. Adulting takes a lot of planning. Now you have the ammo of knowing exactly how much time you have available. You have the skills to say no to others in order to say yes to yourself and your needs. This will lead to the confidence to do so and in an increase in activities that will fuel your soul and increase your happiness. Thank you again for being with me here today, and I will see you back here tomorrow.